What's up, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, I went to Walmart and bought myself a 2-ton hydraulic bottle jack. I need to change the tires or the wheels on my car, and didn't want to get out my factory jack. This one was only about 11 bucks, so I thought we would give it a shot and see if it works. Now, the question with the bottle jacks is how tall are they? Can you actually get them underneath your car? And in my case, I have a Fiat 500, so it doesn't have a lot of clearance. And so what you have to make sure is that the bottle jack actually will fit under the car. Now, usually, you know, in the 2-ton variety here, they're not super tall, but as you can see, it's, you know, 7 inches or so. So you got to have that amount of clearance. Now, you also want to put it under a hard point, which is probably going to be indicated by a little arrow underneath your rocker panel to kind of show you where that is. Otherwise, you can sometimes use parts of the suspension, but not kind of the moving parts of the suspension. Anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can get this to work. There's obviously 2 parts here: the bottle jack itself, and then the pump. And then down here is a little switch where you release it to lower it, and then you have 2 tubes here, which should go together to create the handle, which will allow you to actually do the pumping. So now on my Fiat 500 down here on the rocker, I have a little arrow, a little triangle kind of stamped into the lower portion of the sheet metal, and that's to indicate basically where there's a hard point where you want to jack. Now in at least my case on this Fiat 500, this HyperTough 2-ton bottle jack is just barely enough to get the wheel off the ground. It is just clearing the ground, and actually it's kind of just slightly dragging. In some cases, if you have a stable enough surface, and as long as you're not getting under the car, you might grab a little board or something just to give yourself a little bit of extra height. Because it's so close, this gives me about a 1/4 inch clearance under the tire there by putting this board there as well. For this application, or for a car with pretty low ground clearance, that's the only thing that this is going to be useful for. If you have a truck or an SUV or crossover with higher clearance, this is going to be really tough to use unless you, like I said, try to use it on some part of the suspension. So definitely works and lifts and is pretty easy to use, and it's only going to be really appropriate for things like this where you have a really level surface, because it's going to push and straight up. But yeah, for 11 bucks, getting the job done. Peter Von Panda out.